Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee were definitely hot topics at E3 2018. We all wanted more information and more footage, and while nobody was allowed to direct capture the game, we did get to play it, and Nintendo themselves put out quite a bit. One of the things we were really eager to see was a gym, and you may have missed that Nintendo actually showed the Pewter City gym, so today we're going to go through it together. Gabe, let's kick this thing off.
Yeah, obviously gym's a huge part of Pokemon Let's Go because that's one of the few times you're going to get to battle Pokemon because you can't fight them in the wild anymore. And what better way than to start with the Brock one here, Zach? What do you think?
Yes, obviously this is the first gym in the game, it's very iconic, but they have made some changes. We're going to pause right here because you'll see now that they have included spectator seats in the gym. This is borrowed from the anime, where Pokemon gym battles are a big to-do, and was not something that was part of the original Pokemon Yellow, or really any of the Pokemon titles. I like this a lot. I love that they are expanding upon the universe, at least visually. I think the game looks great, and we'll get into some of the mechanics and some of the things that are a little bit worrisome, but at first blush, like, it's so cool how good this game looks, and we talked about that in our first impressions video, but man, like, in person, playing in front of the TV, Let's Go looks so darn good.
Yeah, I wish some of these seats were a little bit more filled in, and Zach, that's definitely you in the back that's just like kind of covered up by this man. Your legs are just like so short.
Even though I'm the short one?
Yeah, that's
even though I'm one of the taller people at E3, I'm the short one in the game. Okay, yeah. I do wonder how popular of a gym Brock is running here, given the fact that like his seat capacity is decent, but his actual attendance percentage is pretty low here. Let's continue on. So we move through and get to see the gym, which has the same layout as the Pewter City gym. You'll notice Brock has a shirt on this time, so kudos to Brock for getting dressed today. But here is something that we're going to talk about, and this is a point of contention. We're going to pause right here. So our little intro man here says the Pewter City Gym only allows trainers who know the type matchups to enter. And he's going to go on to say that you need a water or grass type Pokemon to enter. You need a Pokemon with an advantage. Now, a lot of people on Reddit and on forums and on Twitter are a bit up in arms because it feels like a further casualification of the games. And, like, to be blunt, it is. But it only seems to be for this first gym. He mentions for trainers that haven't, done a gym battle, that don't have any badges, this will be the case. So, again, we know that the game is targeted towards more of a beginner audience and towards more of a Pokemon Go audience and towards more of a new player audience, but I still feel like there's hope. And maybe I'm the fool for believing that, but I don't think this is going to be an across-the-board issue where everything is made a cakewalk.
Yeah, but I'm one of the people, and I know this is unpopular, like, even if it is just, like, a little bit easier, like, that's okay because they're trying to bring in people for the next game. And we're not going to get into that a whole lot here. But, hey, the type matchups here are pretty easy to remember. I do hope it's only for this first gym and that's not a requirement going forward.
Right.
Do you think that it's going to be that way the entire time or only because, hey, this is the first time?
Right. He specifically calls out here, like, hey, for trainers that haven't done gym battles, like, we want to make sure that you're, like, ready to go. A few people have pointed out, or I guess a lot of people really, that Pikachu can learn double kick, which is going to make this easy as well, and they fear that it's setting up for a super cinch of an adventure. But we'll continue on here. I still feel like it's super fun, even if the difficulty is decreased. That is a bit of a bummer. I hope that they're able to maintain some semblance of challenge in future gym battles, and as you mentioned, Gabe, it is important because you aren't battling wild Pokemon. You will be battling trainers, and you do hope that the gyms are able to provide a good chunk of that challenge, and they are going to be providing a at least some percentage of the actual overall total battles in the game, because in theory, like, because you can't battle wild Pokemon, it's almost like the amount of battles is capped, right? It's almost like limited, in the main storyline, in the main game.
Yeah, for sure. And here we see another example of, what you just spoke on, right? Like, kind of a simplification, not in terms of, like, the game itself, but just, like, sheer difficulty, because you're going to take on this NPC as...
I want to point out before the battle begins, they say that you're 10,000 light years from fighting Brock, even though Brock is literally, like, 5 steps ahead of you with no trainers between.
Well, I think they mean skill-wise.
Sure, it's very ironic.
Well, which is also even more ironic because, she sends out a Geodude, we send out a Bulbasaur and a Pikachu. So, and we're both higher level, assuming that we're the ones playing co-op here. Right. Yeah, this is not going to go well for Geodude.
co-op is another point of I guess discussion. Let's pause right here. Geodude, he's given his best effort, dude. He's got his fist ready to go. You gonna play this co-op? I feel like that is a way to at least intentionally try and increase the challenge, right? Yes, co-op is a new feature, and so it kind of sucks that, like, hey, we're gonna intentionally not utilize one of the cool new additions to the game, but I'm definitely not gonna play this co-op, at least for my main playthrough, because I do hope that will make things a little bit more difficult.
I have zero interest in playing this in co-op. I'm not doing that.
It is cool to see, though, like, 2 trainers running through the gym independently and 2 trainers kind of, like, working together here. I do think that's cool. We'll continue on here. Yeah, as you mentioned, Geodude is about to get worked. And, we don't know. And we have no footage or evidence of future gyms. But I would hope that they start you off easy only to increase. Because at some level, they do want to prep players for Gen 8 and for the next Pokemon game. And we know that's the title that they plan on really being the big ticket, right? And being the one that helps drive Switch sales, and being the one that helps evolve the franchise, and being the one that people look to as, like, sort of the grail game for Pokemon fans. So at some point, you're going to have to convert these Let's Go players, I would imagine, to the full-on next title, and it wouldn't be in anyone's best interest if it was just, hey, you breeze through the entire adventure.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you, and I have faith that this isn't how the entire game's going to be. This is super early on in the game, and it's not like Yellow was ever, like, super difficult in the beginning. Like, that wasn't a thing. So, if we kind of think about it, Yellow probably started off super easy anyways. So
not this easy, let's be clear.
No,
not
this
capacity, and you are getting this XP share much earlier and than really ever before, because it's included with every catch or things of that sort. So you are boosting all of these Pokemon very early on. Trainer Liam looking very surprised that you beat him. They will reach Brock. They won't battle Brock. They're saving that obviously for the full game, but I do love that quick shot where your co-op trainer literally, like Superman, jumps out of the gym so that you can speak to Brock. I think that's just a great little moment there. I don't think it's supposed to be funny, but I find it incredibly funny. And Brock looking good here. Like, again, I love the graphical style. If they kept this graphical style for Gen 8, but had all new elements, all new Pokemon, all new gameplay, all new region, I would love that.
Yeah, I mean, who's to say what they're going to do with that? Because you also think it's going to be a super, like, big departure. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Brock is definitely looking great.
Brock is looking good, and I still hold, guys, that the game is overall looking good. I know the difficulty isn't there in what we've seen. I'm fingers crossed that it will be. We loved our demo in the Viridian Forest, and I hope that the whole game pans out for a nice middle ground, that it does appeal to these newbies, and that it still has value for us longtime fans. Let us know your take on the Pewter City Gym, man. If there's any cool new differences or similarities that you notice, we'd love to hear them. Make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all the latest and greatest from the Switch and these 2 new Pokemon titles. We've got you covered. Follow us on Twitter and Discord if you want to start planning some battles with some of our other Switch Force community members. And until next time, everybody, for myself and Gabe, thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. Switch Force, out.